Welcome, ladies. Welcome, welcome. We're just waiting for as some more people come in. So we just give them 5 more minutes and then we'll start. Welcome, ladies. Welcome. I hope you can all hear me. If there's any problems with hearing me or seeing me, just drop me a message in the comments. Welcome, ladies. Welcome to the new ladies that joined. We're just giving the other ladies a chance to join in. Give them the 2 more minutes and then we will start. If any of the new ladies have problems hearing me, just let me know in the chat. All right. See, most of everybody is here. As the other people join in, they'll just drop into the space. Thank you, ladies, for joining tonight. Thank you for coming to the space. Let's just take a few seconds to just get into the space, get into the present moment. So if everyone can just close their eyes. Just for a few seconds, just take a few deep breaths. Let's just get into our space, get into the present moment. Let's prepare to listen from our higher minds. Let's prepare to open our minds, open our hearts to the healing, to the lessons learned today. Just breathing deeply and exhaling completely. Breathing in deeply and exhaling completely. And then just coming into the space now as we're ready to start our session. Thank you to everyone who's joined. Thank you to the other ladies that are now joining in. I'm grateful to have you all here. I hope everyone can see me and hear me fine. If there's any problems, just drop me a message in the chat. This is an open session, so if there's any questions about any of the content that I'm talking about, you can always drop a question in the comments. There's something agree, you can tell your story in the comments. You can send it to me privately as well, or to the whole group. So you can choose that. But yeah, let's start. I'm grateful to have you all here. So the theme for today is self-forgiveness. And I think forgiveness as a whole is something that many of us struggle with in life, whether it is forgiveness of someone else or forgiveness of ourselves. We tend to hold on to that forgiveness. So what the session today is about is just exploring why it is that we inherently resist forgiveness. We resist forgiving ourselves, and why we also resist forgiving other people. We're going to go through what you can do as tools, what your how-to is, how you can use spiritual tools in terms of learning how to forgive yourselves and how to forgive other people in your life, and we just get to move forward. I think use today as a day that you move forward. You move forward, you forgive yourself, you forgive the other person in your life that you are holding that grudge against, holding that judgment against, and just evolving. These sessions are all about evolving into the women that we are, into women that are leaders, that are, examples for other women. So we are here just to expand and to grow and to learn all these tools, so that we can apply them in our daily lives and we can really just dig deep in within ourselves. So firstly, I want to start with why we refuse to forgive ourselves. And I'm using refuse because it's within us where we're holding it back in terms of forgiving ourselves. So if you look at your life, just go deep within yourself now and just look at your life. At any point, think about where in your life are you not forgiving yourself? Think about a situation, whether it be with your children, with your partners, with your boyfriends, with your ex-boyfriends, with your mother, with your sister. Just think about why you're not forgiving yourself. What aspect of the situation are you not forgiving? I find in many of my clients that I do private sessions with that they forgive the other person very quickly, especially if it's in a relationship. Women tend to forgive the other person. Tend to forgive your partner much quicker than what you tend to forgive yourself. We tend to hold on to guilt. We tend to hold on to blame. And why do we do this? We do this because it's hard and it's painful to go within. It's painful to look at what is it that is bothering us so much. What about ourselves is so bad that we actually just need to not forgive ourselves and just move forward in a space of non-forgiveness, in a space of, okay, I'm fine with not forgiving myself. Let's just move forward and pretend that it never happens. And then what we do is we push it in our shadow. So we push it in our shadow and now it's hidden. You think that it's not going to appear again. It's not going to show up. But in reality, it's never going to go away. It's never just going to disappear into your shadow. It's always going to be there. So as you move on in life, it just reappears. I want to talk into a space of relationships. So when we date, we date or we get married, and then sometimes you get divorced, sometimes you leave the partner, and then you get back together, or then you get someone new. And sometimes there's patterns that follow in relationships. So what happens is there's a certain lesson that you need to learn that you are not learning, or there's something that you're not forgiving yourself for. You tend to go back into a situation where you are going to experience the same thing. You're going to go through the same lesson. You're going to go through the same hurt. And you're always going to sit and wonder, but why am I constantly doing this to myself? Why am I doing this? What is it in me that I have now been in 3 relationships, and all 3 relationships have ended in a similar way? Lots of that can stem from non-forgiveness of yourself, holding on to blame, holding on to hurt, holding on to guilt. So if you are, for example, in an abusive relationship, whether it is emotional abuse or physical abuse, you tend to blame yourself and say, but if I didn't make him angry, if I didn't lie to him at that stage, if I didn't do this, we blame ourselves constantly. We're always blaming, we're always judging ourselves. Even in terms of things that are silly little things. At work, you don't do what you meant to do. And now you're trying to hide it in a way that nobody can know, but constantly you're just blaming yourself because you're judging yourself to say that if I didn't do this way, then this would not have happened. We are so hard on ourselves, ladies, and that's something that we need to change. It's something that we need to grow from and learn that it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay for us to do things sometimes that is not the best version of ourselves. But we need to learn to observing it, being an observer in our lives. if you were here the previous 2 sessions, you would have known that that's what I bring up a lot, is being the observer in your life, observing and being consciously aware of where am I, what trait is this and where is it coming from, really digging deep and questioning what you're doing, questioning your reactions, questioning what thoughts are popping up for you in your mind. So really just getting to a space where you are the observer in your life. Because once you can observe your thoughts and your emotions, you'll realize it has little effect on you. Because you're now from a space of awareness. You're from a space where you can realize, okay, I'm angry. I can feel that I'm angry. I can feel this anger coming up. Where is it coming from? What part of me is angry? What am I angry at? Is it, am I mad at the person? Am I mad at what they were doing? Am I mad at myself? What am I actually angry about? And sometimes you'll realize, in speaking of anger, sometimes you realize I'm so mad. And then you're actually like, what am I actually mad about? um what is it that I'm actually, what's bothering me? And you'll see that it's little stupid things. Like, I can give you an example in my life. So I think it was 2 weeks ago, I was looking for papers, and I'm a person who writes, and I write my notes down and I write my work down, and I was looking for a certain paper that I knew I wrote something on, and I only wrote it on this one paper. And anyway, I looked in my bag, wasn't in the bag where I thought that I'd placed it. I look in another bag, I look everywhere. And then I start pulling things out of my cupboards, and I'm like, I don't know where it is. And I'm angry, and I'm saying to my husband, this, I don't want to stay here anymore because this house is too small, and, nothing is in the way that I want it to be. And then he was calm. And then I thought to myself, like, what's going on here? Like, why are you angry? Like, what is making you so angry? Because can a paper that's not there anymore really make you this angry, or is it something else? Is it something that you can't accept? And for me, it was really, I was not accepting where we're currently staying, because I also have a goal. I have a goal of where I want to go. I have a goal of where I want to move to. And I was actually upset about the steps that I have not taken to get to the goal. And in a way, also not forgiving myself for decisions that I have made. Oh, maybe I should have done this, and then this would have happened. So we all do that every day of our lives. We find little things that we carry around, and we actually make ourselves so heavy by carrying around all this weight. If you could look at yourselves and you can see, like, bags, imagine it like a 5 kg bag on your back for everything that you are not forgiving yourself for. It will weigh you down. It honestly weighs you down. So we can't walk into life with these bags on our back. We can't expand, we can't grow if we're constantly carrying baggage. And that includes baggage from not forgiving others. I understand that sometimes forgiving others is also a difficult thing, because we need to reach the stage of acceptance before we can forgive them. So you need to accept that maybe this was what that person was thinking. Trying to step into the shoes of that person and saying, even if it's only saying, I accept that this person was at a low state of consciousness when they hurt me. I accept that this person might not have been thinking clearly. So don't get me wrong, forgiveness doesn't mean that you have to forgive and be the best of friends with that person, or forgive someone and completely disregard the fact that they've abused you. And abuse, ladies, is not only physical abuse, it's emotional abuse, it's manipulation. Those are all forms of abuse. We actually abuse ourselves as well when we, when we eat things that we know will make us feel sick. That's actually a form of abuse to yourself. So I think the word is also sometimes frightening to people, but it is what it is. You do abuse yourself by eating something that will make me feel so bloated, but it's nice, so I'm eating it. You're actually abusing yourself. And then the next day what you find is that you say, shit, I shouldn't have eaten that because now I feel bloated and now I'm going to gain weight. And, all those things that we say to ourselves is things that we are, again, carrying as a 5 kg bag on our back. It's something that we not forgiving ourselves for, because now for the rest of the month or the next 2 months, you're going to say to yourself, but it's my problem. It's my problem why my clothes don't fit now because I ate all these things that I shouldn't have eaten. But it's okay, ladies. It is really okay to screw up sometimes. It's okay at that point of consciousness that you were to have made that decision. We all do it. You can work on yourselves. You can be a healer yourself. And you can still, we still human. We still make human error mistakes. So we need to own the fact that we are vulnerable sometimes. Own the fact that, sometimes it's just not a good day. That day is just not a good day. And learn to observe the day. That's why I always teach journaling. Journaling every evening. Journaling about your day, letting it out. What happened that was good? What happened that was bad? Add to your journal, what could I not forgive myself for today? What am I battling to forgive myself for today? So just sitting in introspection with that and going within the depths of your soul to see what is it that you cannot forgive about yourself. For some people, it can go really deep and it can be really old things or really, fresh things that you never even thought about. But doing the shadow work, going within your shadow, going within the hard places, the places that feel painful, that is the places where healing takes place. That's the places where healing is needed. Those are the places we need to go to so that we can expand, so that we can move forward. So we need to live from a space where we stop blaming ourselves for everything. If something goes wrong in a relationship, whether that be with your partner, whether it be with your mother, with your sister, with your friend, you are not to blame all the time. You cannot take that much responsibility for other people's emotions. You cannot take responsibility for other people's perceptions. We often look at a situation and say to ourselves, when we were speaking our truth, we say to ourselves, you shouldn't have said that because it could have hurt his feelings, or it could have hurt her feelings, or maybe I shouldn't have been so truthful. And that's a wound. That is a wound. We need to learn to be okay with speaking our truth. It's okay. Know that it's okay. You are allowed to feel hurt. You are allowed to feel pain. You can feel it, but do not let it consume you. Don't let the pain fester. So use your spiritual tools. Use prayer, use journaling, use all the spiritual tools that you've learned, that you will continue learning on these sessions, to really go to the pain. Because after the pain comes the sunshine, comes the happiness, because now you've healed it. And you've healed something that you can move forward with. Sometimes we have deep, deep, deep-seated pain. Pain from years ago that we haven't dealt with. We need to go there. We need to really sit in introspection. We need to journal it out. We need to sit in prayer, sit in meditation, and just bring into your awareness. Say to yourself, where do I need to heal today? Where do I need to go today? Don't let the pain become something that can be a trigger. Don't let the pain cause it to consume you and completely take you in. And that's where depression starts, is when the pain really consumes you. When you can't do anything, when you can't eat, when you can't sleep, because you're just so consumed in your pain. Let's be observers in our lives now. Let's be aware that the pain is there. We're not denying it. We're accepting that the situation has hurt me. It has hurt me, and now I need to figure out why. Why is it hurting me so much? So going deep enough to say, why am I punishing myself? Why am I punishing myself like this? Why am I letting the pain consume me to the point where I cannot eat, where I cannot sleep, where I cannot think clearly? Really just going and observing it. Because I promise you, when you've done that, you will gain more clarity on why you are feeling the way you are feeling. And it's not going to happen in one day. It's not going to happen sometimes in 1 month or 2 months. But it is the consistency of going there, going every day, sitting in your meditation and just going to the place where you need to heal for that day. And take it step by step. We have gathered lots of these 5 kg bags on our backs. What will happen if you just release them all? There's a chance that these bags might pull you down with them, because you're now carrying so many bags. Think about if you do your shopping and you want to carry all those bags. And when you drop them down, you stumble and you fall. So you can't release 50 years or 20 years or 10 years or 5 years of pain in one evening. You can't release that pain in one instant. We need to take it step by step, day by day, slowly uncovering the layers, realizing, okay, I didn't have compassion for myself. In this situation, I didn't have compassion for myself. Let me learn today. Let me learn compassion for myself. Tomorrow, what is it that I couldn't forgive? Where am I going today? In what part of me am I healing today? Okay, so this is the new situation. Now the new situation comes up. And the lesson from that is maybe you didn't respect yourself, or you didn't have a boundary where you could have had a boundary in place, but you didn't know. So maybe you were in a relationship, or maybe you were in your relationship with your parents or your family. And before last week's session, you didn't know about boundaries, or you knew, but you didn't think it's important to actually put the boundary in your energy field, or you didn't know how to do it. So now you're going back and you're thinking, this past week, my word, Tara said that I needed to put boundaries. And I think now that if I put that boundary in place, I wouldn't have done that. Or I wouldn't have been in this situation. Or I wouldn't have been, don't do that to yourself. You will drive yourself insane. Don't blame yourself for the consciousness that you had before. As I said last week, and as I love to say, is that we have every day to start anew, start afresh. Every day we get to make a different choice. So today we can choose to be a better person than we were yesterday. We can choose to live our truth in a better way than we did the day before. So really stop blaming yourself for what you knew before, or what you didn't know for that matter. So if you learn something today and you can implement it in your life, implement it with courage, implement it with compassion for yourself, acknowledging that, wow, I didn't know that yesterday, but now I do. And now I can change it moving forward. Let the past stay in the past, ladies. Don't let the past ruin your possible future. Don't let the past ruin the vision that you see yourself in right now. Can everybody hear me now? I think I lost signal there. Okay, there we go. I see the other ladies are reconnecting now. So as I said, let's not be victims. Let's learn to empower ourselves. Let's learn to step out. Let's step out of that, what's blocking. Let's step out of what's blocking our vision now. And one of those things is the inability to forgive ourselves. Learning that we need to see ourselves as the highest version of ourselves and the highest truth of ourselves, besides what has happened yesterday. without being concerned about what we did before, because we've made a new choice. We've made a new choice. We've made a new decision, and we're moving forward. We're now moving forward into a new version of ourselves. So the version of yesterday that wasn't as conscious as today, it's okay. Learn to forgive that version of yourself. You can even do it in terms of years. So forgive yourself for when you were 16. Forgive yourself when you were 16 and you didn't know any better than to what you did at that point. And forgive that 16-year-old within you. Forgive the 5-year-old, then forgive the 20-year-old, Everybody here is different ages. So, start with the oldest that you can forgive, or start with the youngest, go from the bottom up. But let's forgive the consciousness that we didn't have at those points. Let's forgive that version of ourselves and expand and grow into a new person. Open up to a new day, new opportunities, new experiences. It's okay. Always know that it is absolutely okay. I want to touch on forgiving others. Forgiving others requires us sometimes to change our perception in terms of the situation. Sometimes it requires a lot from us, because some people are people who you interact with on a daily basis, and they tend to continually do things that require you to forgive them every day. But when we forgive from a higher state in our consciousness, we forgive because we know that, maybe they don't know any better. And even if they do know better, they are choosing today not to live in their truth. So forgive them from a higher place, from a place where you are trying to free yourself, because you need the freedom, because they will be stuck with those bags on their back. They will be stuck with those 5 kg bags, and they will have a burden to carry. Because I can tell you that even the hardest, most dramatic, nastiest person, they don't forgive themselves for certain things. And those 5 kg bags sit there. We just don't know it. Or you can't see it from your perception. But if you look into that person's lives and you really look deeply, you'll see that those baggage affects them as well. You'll see that the baggage really, really gets to them, even though they might be very good at hiding it. If you look at yourself, you can also realize that within yourself, to know that sometimes you are very good at hiding things. You are good at hiding your feelings. How many of you can think about a situation where you were completely sad or completely felt run down, or not in the mood for something, and you put on your makeup, you put on your best outfit and your best face, and nobody could tell that something was wrong, because you really put on a good show. Just think to yourself, when things like that happen, it's also how that person that you're not wanting to forgive, it could also be that that's what's happening in their life. I read a story on a book that's called Beyond Forgiveness. And one of the spiritual leaders of Agape Spiritual Center in Los Angeles wrote a story in that book of a time when he battled to forgive someone. So he was a child, and I don't want to make this now a long story and tell his whole story, but he was young. And what happened is he and his friend witnessed a fire in a home overseas. And what happened is the old man in the house was there, and they were the ones who called for help. So they called the fire people, the fire truck and all of that. But they went to the neighbor and said to the neighbor, there's someone in the house and there's a fire and you need to help. And they were young. And then the fireman came, and he actually rudely said to these kids, like, get out of the way, get out of the way. And he called them very rude names, overseas. If they call you like a nigger or a black child, it's very rude, in that sense, and it's offensive to the child. And for a very long time, he battled to forgive this firefighter. And when he then went into a meditation, he went into the meditation and tried to see in the perspective of this fireman. And this fireman, as much as he used abusive language and the incorrect words, the firefighter's perception was that he needs to get in the house and save the person in the house, and these children are in the way. So at that point, that firefighter didn't use the correct language when speaking to them. That firefighter wasn't at a conscious level where he could speak in a conscious manner to these kids. And at the end of the day, the kids felt this resentment towards this firefighter because they just saw it from their perception that this person is a rude person, and we were the ones that helped, and we were expecting some sort of gratitude to say that we were the ones that found this man, we were the ones that called for help. So their expectation was different to what they got. And because their expectation and what happened in reality didn't match, they had an inability to forgive. So if we take that example and we put it in our lives, how many cases of our inability to forgive is due to our lack in our expectations that we've set for other people? I can be a very good example of always setting high expectations on others until I learned that this is actually the cause of my pain. This is actually what's causing me pain and suffering, because I'm always expecting others to react in the way that I wanted them to react. But at the end of the day, we have to realize that that is only our perception. That's our side of the story. That's what we wanted someone to say. That's what we wanted someone to do. So we have to accept people as they are, in their state of consciousness, in whatever point of their life they are. Because setting unrealistic expectations on people causes so much pain and suffering for us. And then it leads to us not being able to forgive them for what we expected of them. So let's learn to also, as a spiritual tool, try and not put too many expectations. Try not mold people to be who you want them to be, because that's never going to happen. Someone's never going to be exactly who you want them to be. What we can do is call people into our energy fields who are a representation of what we want. So if you want friends who are trustworthy, if you want friends who are honest, if you want friends who are loving and kind, you can call people like that into your energy field. Absolutely. You can absolutely do that. But you cannot mold someone into the version that's in your perception. So if someone is already in your field before you learned how to call people into your field based on what you want, if someone is already there, try and see what you can accept about that person. What can you accept? And what can you not accept? And it's okay. It's okay to say that there are parts of a person that you can accept and there's parts of a person that you can't accept. But try not to create an expectation on someone and try to mold them into who you want. Because it's going to lead to disappointment, which leads to inability to forgive the person and yourself. The next thing that I want to mention is forgiveness is something that we need to live and breathe every single day. We really need to live and breathe forgiveness. I have been taught by my wonderful teachers that you can only teach what you embody. So, whatever lessons I learn, whatever I do in my training, I first have to go and really embody it within my being before I can come to a space like this with all you beautiful ladies and try and teach you these practices. If I haven't embodied it myself, I can't teach it to you. So I want you to look at forgiveness in a sense of embodiment. Look at forgiveness in a sense of practicing it every single day with yourself, with other people. And there is a difference, as I said before, where you do not need to condone behavior that you don't want in your field. So you don't need people to bully you. You don't need people to be horrible to you. You don't need people to disrespect you. So when people come into your field that do those things to you, we forgive them, but we also realize what boundaries we need to put in place, and we realize that there's no space for people who do that to us in our lives. So forgiveness doesn't mean allowing people to abuse you. Forgiveness does not mean allowing people to take advantage of you. Forgiveness means setting yourself free. Setting yourself free from those bags that you're carrying on your back. Releasing those bags so the lighter you are the happier you are. Releasing all of those things that weigh you down. That's what true forgiveness is. True forgiveness is not going back to the person who hurt you. True forgiveness is understanding that level of consciousness and understanding that now you realize it because you're observing it in your life. You're being an observer. So now you realize and you say to yourself, okay, I'm now aware that before I allowed this in my energy field, but no more. Now, no more. Now you have the knowledge, you've got a higher consciousness, and you understand that now I'm not allowing that anymore. No, that's not me. That used to be me yesterday, but today that's not me. Using our choices, using that holy decision, that choices that we have, using them wisely each and every single day. So for me, 3 things that we have to, not that we have to, that we can use as spiritual tools in order to learn true forgiveness. For me is prayer, and that is whatever way you choose to pray. There is no right way or wrong way of praying. Praying from the depths of your heart with your entire soul, that's a prayer. Praying with the willingness to forgive, because that's where we really start, is with the willingness. Because we can say to ourselves, okay, I'm going to forgive myself for this today. And we need to realize when we're saying something because we think that that's what we should say, and when we say something because we completely mean it from the depths of our being. So certain things that you have to forgive or that you will learn to forgive will be easy, and you'll be able to say that day immediately, I forgive myself for that. But in the situations that you find are harder, you can say to yourself, I am willing to forgive myself for whatever it is. And that's your prayer. I'm willing to forgive myself for ... Because a willingness each and every day is all you need as a step forward in the right direction. So include that in your prayer, include that in your journaling. I'm willing to heal. I'm willing to forgive. I'm willing to expand. Until you feel that situation, that truly from the depths of your being, that you can now truly say, okay, I have. And it's okay, like I said, it's okay. It's okay if you have to be willing to forgive yourself for as long as you are processing whatever it is that you need to process. As long as you're willing each and every day, we can move forward. The next tool is living in alignment with our truth. So, in order not to recreate a cycle, whereby we continually have to forgive ourselves. We can learn to live in alignment with our truth. So first establishing what is that truth, and then from there we can live in alignment with the truth. Live in alignment with that truth. So those are, for example, your boundaries. Those are what you're allowing into your space. Those are your truths. If you are adamant and you put it in your field that you want a trustworthy man, if you want an honest man, if you want a life or job that is your purpose, that's in your being, that makes you want to wake up in the morning, that's living for your truth. So when we start to live for our truth and within our truth, that's also when we can recreate the cycle of having to constantly forgive ourselves for not living in our truth. And then the third thing that we can use is seeking help. Whether that be seeking help from me in a one-on-one session, seeking help from another coach, from someone in your religious group, from a friend, from whoever you feel comfortable seeking help from. Seek help if you cannot do it on your own. One of the things that ladies also do often is we want to do everything ourselves. We deny sometimes that we need help, that we need someone to assist us. So, as a spiritual tool, and a very, very important one for me, is seeking help. Having the ability to say, and having a friend or having a coach or someone that's got you, that can hold space for you, where you can go and say to that person, today I am shattered. Today I am the worst version of myself. It's those days where you feel like there's no amount of affirmations, no amount of positive talk, no amount of anything that you can do. Sometimes people can't even meditate because that's in that space that you are. You are just in that space. And when you are in that space, what really helps is to have someone who you can go to say, please, I need you to look from your perspective into the situation. Or you say to that person, I just need to be seen and I need to be heard by you. So have that person where you can get on a call. That person is listening to you from the depths of their soul. They're completely attentive listening. They're listening to you while you let them know what happened today. Or it may be that person that you can go to and say, please pray for me. Please pray for me in any way that you pray. Please pray for me because today I need that prayer. It's having that sort of relationships with people. And that is seeking help. Seeking help when you absolutely cannot. Which is for me one of the most important tools to have, is just having those people in your life. So those are our those are with our 3 tools for today and our forgiveness talk. I really hoped it served each of you in whatever way that you needed it to serve you today. I hope it came through and you listened to it from your higher self so that you could understand some of the concepts that are maybe not always easy to digest. Thank you. Thank you, Corin. Thank you for being here, all of you. I always look forward to these sessions. We've got beautiful, beautiful ladies here. Yes, I've been loading them onto a YouTube, all the recordings onto a YouTube, my YouTube channel. So I'm going to I'll email everyone the link to the YouTube channel, and then you can get all the recordings. So all 3 sessions this far, and then you'll be able to get all the future ones on there. I just probably need to edit some of them out. But yeah, I'll send all of you that link, and then you guys can just go back to it whenever you need. But thank you again. Thank you for joining me, ladies. I hope to see you all next week again. And yeah, I'll let you know what the topic is for next week. If there's anything that you guys would like to hear about, or that you have any questions on that you don't want to ask in this group, you can definitely pop me an email or send me a Facebook message or anything. WhatsApp, just get in touch with me, and then I can incorporate stuff into these sessions to make them more valuable for you. Thank you so much, ladies. Namaste. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Have a great week as well. Mwah. Lots of love. Bye.